Welcome to the Insomnia Project. We'd love it if you just sit back, relax, and listen as we have a conversation about the mundane. One thing that we can promise is that our conversation will be less than fascinating, so you can feel free to drift off. Thank you for joining us. We hope you will listen and sleep. I'm your host, Marco Timpano.
And I'm your host, Nidhi Khanna. And Marco, today we have a special guest sort of in the background.
For sure. I don't know if you can hear it.
Let's maybe pause for a second.
Okay, maybe that picked up.
Maybe that picked up. That is our dear Zena, who in our new audio recording studio has decided she's just gonna... Marco, you generously gave a blanket for her to lie down on. And the minute I put it in the studio, she just... crashed
and
out.
She's sleeping and just having a good time.
And snoring away. So we're hoping that maybe...
The sound
of her snoring.
Of a
snoring dog in the background will lull some folks into a state of slumber.
Tonight's episode, or this episode, not necessarily tonight's episode, but this episode is actually an episode that was requested by one of our Patreon subscribers. If you haven't checked out our Patreon page, please do so. But this show is a request from Anne, and our show will be about New Mexico and Albuquerque.
Thank you, Anne, for all your support. It's so great to see you liking our Insomnia Project posts on Instagram and your lovely messages to us. And we just wanted to say thank you for supporting us.
If you want an episode, a random episode that you pick, because I don't know if we would have done Albuquerque, New Mexico, Nidhi, and it's kind of fun for us too, where someone else sort of determines what we're going to talk about.
Well, Marco, for Albuquerque, New Mexico, we need to start with the most important part, which is recent. Albuquerque, New Mexico's location of...
Breaking Bad?
Yeah, there you
go. There you go.
There you go. We just need to throw that out there right away.
Did you enjoy that show?
I did. It took me a couple of episodes to get into it.
Fair.
And then there was a moment where I was like, okay, am I into this? But I did end up loving it. I love Bryan Cranston, so it's hard not to like the shows that he is in.
Sure. For me, when I think of New Mexico, I think of Georgia O'Keeffe.
Georgia O'Keeffe.
Yeah, she did a lot of her paintings in New Mexico. And, Nidhi, if you're familiar with those paintings of the steer skull, so the skull of the steer with the big horns.
Yeah.
She did a lot of those. Her paintings and Adobe-style homes that she painted, and really, really lovely things. I love Georgia O'Keeffe, and if you ever get a chance to see her art in real life, it's just so beautiful.
Amazing.
And her life is just so fascinating. She was such a pioneer and such a strong feminist and artist, and just... If you ever get a chance to look into the life of Georgia O'Keeffe, I really recommend it, and her art is just stunning.
I have to say, Marco, you are the greatest feminist.
Oh, I wouldn't say the greatest.
Well, maybe not the greatest, but I think you are a great ally and a wonderful feminist.
I try to be, and I'll be honest with you, I'm sure I've made tons of mistakes in the past.
We all have.
That I wouldn't make today, but I'm doing my best to make this world as even a playing field as I can for people across the board. Now, how many people do you think live in New Mexico? What's the population, Nidhi?
I'm going to say 3 million.
Oh, not bad.
Really?
You were off by 1 million.
Oh.
It's 2 million.
Okay.
But
I was going to say 2 million.
It's the 36th most populous state, and it's bordered by Utah, Colorado, and Arizona. Arizona? Yes, Arizona. I'm going to say Arizona. The capital is Santa Fe, and it has a colder alpine-type climate.
Yes, and actually Albuquerque is, you might have this on your list of fun facts, is the highest elevated city in the States.
Oh, cool. You take Albuquerque, I'll take New Mexico.
Okay.
Okay, because...
Perfect.
There you go.
I'm going to one-up you on New Mexico.
Yes.
Albuquerque is...
Cool name, by the way, Albuquerque.
Yes, and it is the only word in the English language to use the QUE letter sequence twice.
Oh.
Well, look at that.
There you go. And it's spelled the same forward as it is backwards. No, it's not. I just wanted to see what you would say. Is
You're like, I paused there, and I was like,
That's called a palindrome, right?
I think so.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, Nidhi, I didn't mean to.
No, that was great. Microsoft was actually founded there
Oh, I didn't know
by
that.
Paul Allen.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was located in Albuquerque from 1975 to 1979.
New Mexico's nickname is the Land of Enchantment.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
So I got to tell you something. I'm just going to pause this from New Mexico for a
Sure.
second. So my wife has 9 states she has to visit, and she's completed all 50.
Wow.
One of them is New Mexico.
No way.
So for me, she's got a couple of really cool states that I want to go with her to see.
Like what? What are the other 9 states?
I'm not going to say all of them because then you'll know which ones I want to go to, which I consider cooler than others.
I want to guess, though.
Okay, you know what? I'm not going to say which ones I'm looking forward to, but you want to guess the 9 states?
No, I want to guess which ones you think you are looking forward to.
No, because then if our listeners are from these other places...
No one's going to take it like that.
Listen.
Okay, say the 9. Say
Okay,
the 9.
I'll say the 9. New Mexico is one,
Mm-hmm.
so I definitely want to go there. Louisiana is another. Alaska, Hawaii, Montana, Utah, and 2 more. And 3 more. And
Iowa.
Idaho.
Idaho.
I've been to Iowa with her. Idaho and
Kansas.
yeah, I think Kansas is another one. And I want to say South Dakota,
Okay.
the state that doesn't have the presidents carved out. What's it called? The
Yeah, I know which ones you're talking about.
the Mount Rushmore. The one
Yep.
that doesn't have Mount Rushmore, I think.
Is South Dakota?
Oh, Amanda's going to listen to this and say...
I know, she's going to be so disappointed.
Anyways.
But I can tell you which ones are the cool states in there.
Well, Nidhi, I've sent all your emails to Nidhi Khanna. And
I didn't say which ones they are. I just say I know which ones they are.
Look, they're all those states I mentioned have things that I would want to see.
Okay, sorry. I meant I know which states you probably want to go to.
Because you know me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So which states are those?
Oh, now I forgot all the states.
Okay, fair enough. You know what? Let's get back to New Mexico because I want to say this about
New Mexico. You definitely want to go to New Mexico.
100%. 100%. Even though I think I'll suffer from altitude. Have you been to New Mexico, by the way? Mm-mm. Oh, you haven't? Okay. Its motto, I think, is really cool. So I'm going to try my best Latin here. Crescit iundo, which translates to, it grows as it goes. And I kind of love that. I'm going to use that.
That was as good as remember the episode where we were like, you just need to puke in the regulator?
Yeah, don't worry about
It's
puking. Well, it grows as it goes, Nidhi.
like
And that's
it.
what I got to say there. So it grows as it goes.
Well, Marco,
Yes.
if you do go to New Mexico, you have to go to Albuquerque because it is the hot air balloon capital of the world, and it hosts an international competition, I think every year, which is the International Balloon Fiesta.
Ooh.
It's not just a festival, it's a fiesta.
Their flag, New Mexico's flag, is awesome. It's a yellow flag with, it almost looks like rays coming from a sun in red.
Oh, that's cool.
It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah. And what's their, the seal
Oh,
of the...
it's just a see. I don't want you to see this because I'm going to ask you.
Okay. Well, wait a second.
Okay.
I have to counter
Sure.
that.
Yeah,
fact.
please.
Because we have to make everything into a
I
competition.
know, it's like the city and the state are cool. I don't know why we're making it a competition, but go ahead.
But it's kind of... We haven't done a debate episode in a while, by the way.
We've got to do a debate
We've got
episode.
to do a debate episode. So since the local soil makes it really tough to support high-rise buildings, Albuquerque's tallest building is only 351 feet high, which is about 22 stories.
Oh, wow.
So
That's cool.
that is cool.
What do you think the state bird is?
State bird of Albuquerque. Can you give me options?
Okay, I won't give you options. I'll just give you hints, okay?
Okay.
There's a famous cartoon that has this bird in it.
Oh,
Oh,
is this the toucan? No.
It's cartoon. Yeah, it's a cartoon. No, it's not. It's not a. It's not a serial. It's an actual cartoon.
Oh, sorry.
And it's a Looney Tunes cartoon. If that helps.
Oh. Is it a Roadrunner?
It is.
No.
It is the Greater Roadrunner.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Is the Roadrunner a real...
Yes.
The Roadrunner's real?
Yeah. They're small. They're not. They don't. They kind of don't look like, if you look at the cartoon, you think their plumage is,
huge.
yeah, they're not that huge. They're smaller and they are kind of brown and they just run really fast. Like they walk really fast. Nidhi's looking up Roadrunner. I take it. Well, I could just do this. I could just click on it and show you what it looks like.
Yeah, please do.
That's what it looks like. It just looks like that.
Oh, it doesn't look like the Roadrunner.
No.
It's not even close.
No. But here's something cool. The fish, their state fish is the Rio Grande cutthroat trout.
Okay.
If you're going to have
So
a
I have a
trout,
question.
the cutthroat trout is the one you want.
Yes. Question about like state anythings.
Mm-hmm.
Are they protected in some way, or
No,
is
it could just be, for example, I would imagine the roadrunner is a bird that you would see.
quite frequently there?
Yeah, just like in Ontario, which is our province, it's the loon, right?
Right.
Is our bird. And the loon you see when
Everywhere.
well, I wouldn't say everywhere, but you don't really see.
Everywhere.
You don't see
Everywhere.
I'm sure
Down the
you-
street. Anytime you go, wherever you go, there's a loon.
What's funny is we live in the city and we don't see loons here.
Not even close.
But Amanda and I were going to Christian Island, this beautiful island, and we're on the little ferry. That was Zena. Gave a little snort. And I said, "Oh, look, some loons!" And there was like three loons just swimming along, and it was really beautiful. Anyways, I would love to see I did see a roadrunner once in, I want to say Colorado. I saw a roadrunner.
wow.
Yeah, or maybe it was Arizona.
So the local minor team baseball squad called the Albuquerque Isotopes actually took their name from a Simpsons episode
Oh, that's so great.
where the Springfield minor league baseball team plans to move to Albuquerque, and the name won I guess fans voted on what to name the the minor league baseball team, and by a landslide it became the Albuquerque Isotopes.
I love that.
I know,
It's
it's
like,
great.
I think McGill had a contest to name their cafeteria.
Oh,
And
really?
you could, and the student
Oh,
body
the
could.
Shatner.
Right, it was like you
yeah.
could name it after a famous Montrealer, right? And so everybody thought it was going to be
Stephen Leacock
or a
this.
scientist or something,
Yeah.
but the students all got together and were like, William Shatner. And so
I love it.
what do you think the flower of New Mexico is?
Ooh, that's a good question. So it's kind of like dry.
Yes.
So like some sort of cactus-like.
Oh, Nidhi, you know what? You're like on point tonight. It's
Really?
not a cactus, but I feel like you're like, it's the yucca. But you were describing, like when you were describing, I was looking at the picture and I was like, oh, this is like Nidhi's, you're
I'm
like,
on it.
Okay, so then let me ask you this, because you were so close. The gemstone.
Oh,
Think about,
this is your area.
yeah, but think about New Mexico and if you think about New Mexico and you think about things, but I'm going to say belt buckles.
I want to say something turquoisey.
You got it. Yeah, I knew you would get it. It's turquoise.
Oh,
It's
is it really?
It's turquoise, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Look at you.
Look at that.
The tree is the two-needle pinon. Pignon. Which is, I say pignon because it has an enya on top of the N. So I'm sure it's a pine, but that's the Spanish way of saying it, I'm going to guess. That's all guesses with me tonight.
So a hot dog cart rivalry reached a fever pitch in 2012 when an Albuquerque hot dog vendor was charged with battery with a deadly weapon for mowing down a competing vendor with his hot dog cart. And no word on how many good hot dogs were rendered inedible following the incident.
Wow. Controversy
Clearly
there.
Very controversial.
Oh my goodness. I'll say this. When I think New Mexico, I think George O'Keeffe. I think Breaking Bad. I think of arid land and adobe style homes. What do you think of when you think of New Mexico?
I think of Spanish vibes.
Okay.
I feel, I don't know why, I think of kind of clay,
Mhm.
or the
Sure.
colors, like bright yellow comes to mind, like pink. I see houses that have maybe those red sort of, red tiled roofs, not tiled, but
That sort of terracotta type roof?
yeah,
Yeah, sure.
that's the image I have.
Sure. Vibrant colors for sure.
Vibrant colors for
You-
sure.
It's like I feel like you're really. I feel like you're a native son of New Mexico. You're pretty.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of really interesting, probably indigenous
Yes.
history and culture that is infused.
It has one of the largest populations of both indigenous and Latin American
Oh, I love
peoples.
that.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
I also, for some reason, think of like desert, but like UFO desert.
Okay.
Like, I think of large plains of not nothing, but where people like that aren't really inhabited, and that you can drive and drive and drive for a while and maybe not see people or towns, or which I find really interesting.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it has a lot of that. I would love to go to Santa Fe as well. I know we're talking about
Oh, yeah.
Albuquerque, and if I'm not mistaken, I want to say Carol Burnett has a connection to Santa Fe. I'm gonna look up notable people. I feel like Shirley MacLaine has a connection to New Mexico and Santa Fe, and I believe she says that it's a very spiritual place as well, and that's why she has a
Oh,
connection.
I could see that. I could see there being very, I don't know. Yeah, spiritual is the right word.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, do you remember that infamous McDonald's coffee spill situation with the hot coffee?
with the hot coffee.
That happened in Albuquerque.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They had a whole documentary about that.
Yeah, because
Have
a lot
you
of
ever
people.
seen it?
No, but I think I did because a lot of people made fun of the person, but it was a really
It was,
severe.
it was a huge burn.
Yeah.
It was like a 3rd-degree burn.
Yeah. Speaking of coffee, this morning, Nidhi, I went to the cupboard and the cupboard was bare. When it came to coffee, you know, I always have coffee in the morning, and you know those mornings when you really need it. That was me
so
this
bare.
morning, and so I had to. And you know, in the morning, you just need something before you face the world, right? So I was like, I've got to face the world and get the coffee. And I didn't want to go to a Starbucks or there's another coffee shop. I wanted to make my own coffee. So I walked to the grocery store in a state of malaise, not quite awake. I grabbed my coffee, which I prefer to have Lavazza in my espresso. They don't sponsor our show, but that's,
No, but maybe we need to get them.
maybe we do need to get them. But I got it. I came home, made myself a Lavazza. I happened to a strawberry Danish fell into my cart as well, and that was my morning, and it was
Ooh,
fantastic.
strawberry Danish.
Yeah,
Yummy.
yeah. It was like a strawberry and cheese Danish.
Love it.
What did you have for breakfast this morning?
That's a good question. I think I had a yogurt.
Okay,
I've been really good about making breakfast lately.
good for you.
And can I say, Marco?
Yes.
Once this week, I woke up at 5:30 in the morning so that I could go to a yoga class at 6:15.
Oh, good for you.
I know. I was
Which one
very
are you
proud.
going to?
Mokshuka downtown.
Oh, you're going to the downtown. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Good for you,
Yeah.
Nidhi.
It was. I was really proud of myself. All that to say, though, you know what's worse than not having the coffee is having the coffee and then not having milk,
Oh, yes.
because you make it and then you're ready
Sure.
to take that first taste of the day, which is the best. That first morning coffee is always just amazing.
I used to keep condensed milk
Oh, yeah, that's right.
in my cupboard just in case I ran out of milk. I would use condensed milk, or what's the other milk? Not just condensed. It's
Evaporated?
evaporated milk. I would, whenever they go on sale, I always buy one or two, throw it in my cupboard, and then, yeah, for coffee emergencies.
That's a great idea. That's
Yeah.
a great idea. You know what I did today,
Yes,
which is
tell me.
sneaky? I don't know if I should reveal this.
Yes, of course. It's the New Mexico episode.
It's the New
Albuquerque.
Mexico episode.
All secrets.
Buried in the New Mexico
As they say,
episode.
it grows as it
As
goes. So
Exactly. today, so have you ever used the Ritual app to order food?
You know what? I have not used it, but I worked in a place that they had it, and it was such a pain for the people that I worked with.
Oh, I bet so.
Okay.
I bet. But
Yep.
for a consumer, it's great. And so there's this $1 coffee week deal that happens, and so all these vendors are. You can buy coffee for $1,
Sure.
like Aroma or Balzac's or
Sure.
whatever.
These are all like
These are all coffee shops
places.
in Toronto, and
None of which we necessarily recommend.
right.
So
Or sponsor us.
or
in
sponsor
any
us. So
way.
we'll just mention various places, but unless you hear us give it the seal of approval,
There's no
exercise
endorsement.
caution.
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly. No endorsement. And so I ordered one of them in the afternoon on the app and picked it up, and I was kind of not frazzled, but it was the afternoon and I had just come from a meeting and I had a million things that I needed
Sure.
to do, so I wasn't thinking. So I left with my coffee and went back up to my office, and I realized I hadn't put milk in the coffee.
oh no.
And so I was like, oh no, what do I do? So I went into our kitchen area,
Sure.
our work kitchen area, and I opened the fridge, and I was like, oh, do I steal someone's cream?
I wouldn't say steal, pilfering at this point. You're
Pilfering.
going to pilfer a bit of cream.
Well, here's how I justified.
Oh, that's
Zena had an opinion on
She
that.
had a sleepy opinion on that. What's funny is I don't know if it picked up that snort, so people might be like, "What are they talking about?" Zena just let out a big snort.
I feel
in
like
her sleep.
we need to also take a photo of this. 'Cause
Nidhi's going to take a photo right now. She's going to post it on her Instagram, and she'll just write New Mexico so that
New
you
Mexico.
can,
There
so
you
you
go.
can you can reference it with this particular episode.
there you go. So, and in this fridge at work, it's like people don't take things home. I don't know how it's possible that at 3:00 in the afternoon, this fridge could be that full. Because
Okay.
by that time, everyone's had their lunch.
Just so everybody knows, Nidhi has her arms crossed right now. and
Makes me
she's
very
really,
upset.
I know she's really.
It makes me very upset. The other thing that makes me upset
Okay.
is when you put something in the fridge and don't label it. If it's not labeled, it's community use.
Listen, it grows as it goes. Is all I can say. So you pilfered some cream?
I did because there was no label on it.
Oh, so no one had put their label.
No.
Yeah, so if you look,
If someone had their label and I really wanted it, I would have gone to them and said, "Is it okay that I take a little bit of milk from
Right.
your,
stash.
But the fact that nobody had a label on this, I was like, you know what?
It's up for
Community
grabs.
use.
You know what? You're right. I have to say that I would have done the same. I think I would have pilfered it even if someone's name was on it. I would have just taken a little bit and maybe said afterwards, "Hey, Nidhi, by the way, I stole a little bit of your cream."
You know what? It depends on whose milk. If it was, okay, I know this person well
Right.
and they are not going to mind, then maybe I would.
So tell me the name of the person whose you wouldn't. No, I'm kidding. Could you imagine?
Here are the list of people at work that I would never take anything from.
No, but you know what? You work with lovely people. I have to say,
do,
I've
I
met
do.
them. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that. So
No,
I'm just,
I don't
I'm
think
just
so.
joshing
But
with
you know what? I think it's also, though, if you are at a workplace and everybody is thinking the same way I am, then all of a sudden, within 2 days, you have no more milk.
Sure, fair enough.
That's why you put a label on it.
So let me ask you this. Going forward, will you bring milk to work and
No.
label it? Oh, you won't?
No, because I'm not going to bring milk to work.
Why? If you've run into a milk situation.
But this was an emergency situation.
Okay.
I had forgotten to put it at the actual coffee shop. I forgot to put the milk in.
Where did you get this coffee? Was it at Sumac Espresso?
No, it was at Aroma.
Oh, was that Aroma? Oh,
I
yeah,
was
you
in
said it.
I was in
Okay.
Liberty Village.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I wasn't near Sumac Espresso. Although
That's
I have
where-
no problem endorsing Sumac Espresso.
I will say this. If you're ever in Toronto, you're like, where would I most likely run into both Marco and Nidhi at the same time? Good chance it'll happen at Sumac
There you
Espresso
go.
because you and I often go there and we'll have like, if I'm near your work, I'll be like, hey, do you have time for an espresso? And Nidhi meets me there. Sometimes we'll talk about the Insomnia
On my
project.
lunch hour.
Yeah. No, but it is generally around lunch that
Yes,
I'll
yes.
Because if I'm in the
No,
area,
not that anyone's
No,
like,
I mean, if you go for a coffee break,
But it
that's-
sounds like, hey, you ready? Come on down.
4:00, we're there every day. Come on down. But one thing that drives me crazy about a lot of espresso places is that, or a lot of cafes, is if I order a cappuccino, some of them don't have the single shot. So they're always giving me double shots, and I don't want that. I want a proper And I think we've mentioned it on the show.
We should talk about this because your Instagram is full. Like your Instagram is pretty much all about whether or not something's in a spread. Have you started a new Instagram account?
No, I haven't.
Because there's a new Instagram account that showed up on my
Oh yes,
feed.
I did. I did start.
I thought it was you because it was all about cappuccinos.
Yeah, because I was like, I was kind of thinking like, well, I won't reveal anything.
Okay.
But I'll tell you after.
Okay. Perfect.
So anyways.
Anyway, Marco's current Instagram account, the real Marco Timpano, has posts basically. This is a cappuccino. This is not a cappuccino, and so. I know you're very, very particular.
I love cappuccinos.
What makes the best cappuccino, though?
You know what, Nidhi? It's one of those things that I have to say that's easy to make. It's simple. It's simplicity, and it should be very easy to make. And a lot of people can mess it up. It's sort of like.
Well, maybe we need to reveal that on the next episode.
Okay, so we will. So we're gonna leave you with a little suspense there. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, and I love how Zena decided to leave this episode and end this episode with a nice doggy fart.
Oh, did she? Okay,
in this very closed room.
Excellent. Well, it hasn't reached me yet, but we're ending this episode. I'm going to say this. Thank you for our Patreon patron who asked for the New Mexico Albuquerque episode.
Thank you, Anne, and thank you to all our listeners. As always, we are produced by Drumcast Productions, and we have been recording from Toronto, Canada.